I absolutely love this Bulls team, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I start getting a little frustrated with this team, they just come out and surprise me with every passing game. You know, we got a lot of people in the live game chat towards the end of the third quarter saying, this game is over, the Bulls are done. And I always say, a game is never over when there is that much time left on the clock. And I said, the Bulls are going to come back in the fourth quarter and win it. Book it. Kind of more of a shot in the dark and more just trying to throw positivity at the situation, but then somehow the Bulls went on a massive tear in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Celtics 39-11, a complete and utter collapse by Boston, and I loved every minute of it, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video right now. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. I don't know about you guys, but I have hated the Boston Celtics for a long time, and it really took a new form of hate after that playoff series in 2009, which was one of the greatest playoff series that I have ever witnessed, despite the Bulls losing it. And so ever since then, I've always wanted the Bulls to take this team out in every possible way. And throughout this game, leading up to the fourth quarter, I thought, well, it looks like the Celtics finally got it together after being hungry for a win after that 2-4 start. And honestly, through those first three quarters, the Celtics played decently well. They were hitting every shot, it seemed like. Their defense was still pretty bad, but they were lighting up the Bulls from outside. And quite frankly, everyone on the Bulls was struggling with the exception of DeRozan. Lavine couldn't get things going on offense, neither with Vucevic. Lonzo was turning the ball over frequently. Caruso was playing sloppy. It looked like this was just one of those games for the Bulls. But then you had the return of the bench mob. Yes, we are bringing back the bench mob from the early 2010s, gives the Bulls a massive spark to close out the third quarter. That gave the Bulls the momentum going into the fourth. They kept it going and bringing the Bulls all the way back to eventually taking the lead with that incredible shot from Dosunmu from three, and I'll talk about him more in a little bit. But when Billy Donovan brought his starting unit back in, I questioned it a bit because that unit is what completely changed the momentum of this game. And when a group is on fire like that, you keep them in, you reward them for their effort and keep that pace of play going. It ended up not really matter because that energy was infectious and the Bulls starters closed out the game with the same effort on both ends of the floor and lit up the Celtics in every way imaginable, and the Bulls walked away with a win to go 6-1 for the season. This is the kind of game the Bulls would have in no way, shape, or form had won last season. I don't care what anyone else says. I want to start with our rookie Dosunmu tonight because he was so key in this comeback win for the Bulls. You have a rookie who wasn't shy or timid whatsoever in driving to the basket and powering his way through much bigger veterans than Al Horford and Jaylen Brown. The confidence on this kid is just incredible. And it's not like Denzel Valentine type confidence who thinks he's good and then hoists up an air ball. No, the kid actually delivers, and better yet, he plays strong defense on the other end. Io got considerable minutes tonight, even getting some run in the first quarter. He scores 14 points on a perfect 6-for-6 night from the floor to go along with his 4 rebounds and 2 assists. The guy was plus 15 on the night. The other guy I want to call out off of the bench is Derrick Jones Jr. Now, I said in my weekly preview video, with Patrick Williams being out, you're going to see Derrick Jones Jr. get a lot more opportunity. And after the last game, I can see him getting more minutes than Troy Brown Jr. And you saw exactly that tonight, and for good reason. Derrick Jones Jr. was a big catalyst on the defensive end, getting his hands in the paint, deflecting passes, blocking shots. He also hit a really big 3 for the Bulls that they needed in the fourth quarter. He finished the game with 9 points on 3-for-5 shooting. And then Alex Caruso, despite having a bit of a sloppy start and handling the ball, he ended up closing out the game very well, finishing with 9 points, and was a great facilitator down the stretch, putting up 6 assists, 2 steals as well. He was also plus 21 on the night. Okay, so now that I praised our reserves, because again, they were just a huge catalyst in getting the Bulls back into this game and shutting down the Celtics, who were red hot in the third quarter. Let's talk about our starters, and we have to start with Demar Derozan. I mean, look, people can say what they will about his contract, about the Bulls overpaying him and trading too much for him and him not fitting with Lavine, but DeRozan has been everything as advertised and more. His efficiency, his ability to hit big shots when the Bulls need it, his strength and athleticism to power his way to the basket and hit such difficult shots has just been incredible. DeRozan shot a ridiculous 15 for 20 tonight and was 3 for 4 from 3. This is the best DeRozan has shot from deep in his career. He finished with 37 points, 7 rebounds and 2 assists. Just another incredible game for him. Then, of course, Lavine was pretty quiet through the first 3 quarters, was missing shots, couldn't really find his rhythm, but came up big in the 4th quarter, hitting some big shots. Overall, it wasn't a great game for Lavine, but it's the fact of how clutch he is in the 4th quarter that has been key for the Bulls. Lavine finished the game with 26 points, which, the more I think about it, it's funny that we say it wasn't a good game for him when he scores 26 points, but he was cold from deep, shooting 1 for 8, but 9 for 20 from the floor, but had some nice reverse layups as well. And what I love from Lavine tonight, and we've seen this in some of the other games, is that when his shots aren't falling, he's acting as the Bulls' lead facilitator. He notched 7 assists tonight, being a very effective playmaker for others. Speaking of playmaking, the Bulls' lead assist man tonight was the man in the middle, Nikola Vujovic. Didn't really have the best night on offense in terms of his scoring, but he was getting guys involved and finished with a near triple-double tonight with 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. He was also hustling on defense, doing a great job at staying on Robert Williams, and had himself a couple of big blocks in this game. I will say, one player I have slightly been disappointed in with recently is Lonzo Ball. Don't get me wrong, he has still been huge for this team on the defensive end, and I love his hustle on that end of the floor, but I really would love to see him being more of a floor general on offense. I mean, it is nice because you have so many experienced guys for the Bulls who can be effective floor generals, something the Bulls didn't have at all last season. But more often than not, you see Lonzo passing up on plays in which he should be running in the half court. And yes, I know he's not that effective in the half court, but he's not terrible in the half court either. And he's only 23. Like, this is the time for the guy to learn and be that true point guard that he can be. I want to see him log more assists and maybe not necessarily taking more shots, because I don't expect a ton of scoring from Lonzo Ball. That's just not part of his game, but more so taking smarter shots. A lot of his shots have been contested when there were men open on the perimeter, guys that he could have easily passed the ball up to, but he decided to take the shot anyway. I mean, tonight, Lonzo shot the ball actually very well from 3, going 4 for 6. In fact, all of his field goals were 3s tonight. He also grabbed 6 rebounds and 4 assists. But in general, I would love to see him getting more guys involved, and the shots that he does take, I would love for them to be higher percentage shots. The Bulls as a team overall were incredibly efficient tonight. I mean, they came out on fire, cooking the Celtics right from the get-go from deep. They finished the game shooting 57% from the field and 42% from 3. They did get a little cold in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, but obviously lit it back up again in the 4th, as we saw. The Bulls were finally strong on the boards tonight as well, rebounding by committee, as Stacey King always says, which is so true when you know you're playing mostly small ball with the lineup that you have. Everyone has to be fighting for the rebounds, and the Bulls did that tonight and out rebounding the Celtics 50-38. And the Bulls, after having some low assist numbers these past few games, finally got their passing back up to 30 assists on a night as a team. The Bulls did turn the ball over quite a bit though through the first 3 quarters and ended up turning the ball over 14 times in total, but they were locking down and taking care of the ball in the 4th, which is why they were so successful in dominating that frame. Like I said, I love this team. Yes, they aren't perfect, but this is by far and away the most exciting Bulls team I have ever seen since the D-Rose era, and I cannot wait to see what this team does for the rest of the season. The Bulls have 2 big games coming up back-to-back against the Sixers. It's possible Embiid might be out for the first one, as he was out for tonight's game with an injury, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. It would be incredible luck for the Bulls, as they always struggle against Embiid. Until then, though, guys, I hope you have a great Monday evening. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.